We are following breaking news. Governor Snyder has vetoed legislation that would have allowed concealed weapons in churches, schools, and daycare centers.
And 7 Action News reporter Julie Bonovich is live in Macomb County now with reaction. Julie, you just talked to the Macomb County executive about this. What did he have to say?
That's right, we did. We talked to Mark Hackel just a couple of moments ago, and we asked him about this because he was sheriff here in Macomb County for 10 years, with the department for 30. So he says while he approves of people that are responsible carrying concealed weapons, again, responsible people that he says should have a right to bear arms, he thinks that there were a lot of problems with this legislation, and he's glad that as of right now, the governor did veto it.
Can you really make a determination as to whether or not somebody has a mental health problem? And to try to get that information, you know, with HIPAA laws and everything else, that's very difficult. And now somebody's going to be responsible if that person does carry out some type of heinous crime and they were given a concealed weapon permit by that board. Somebody's going to question why that sheriff, that prosecutor, as well as that state trooper approved that in that particular county when they should have known that this person was going to commit a violent act. Very difficult responsibility to give to a board, but now with this new legislation to just have that responsibility being given to the sheriff, I don't know that that's a very comfortable setting that the 83 county sheriffs in the state would really want to readily accept.
And you said because part of the new legislation would have changed how it was handled. You said the board versus the sheriff. Can you explain that? Yeah,
the new legislation was now going to limit the board itself. The board was just going to consist of a sheriff of a county being responsible to approve those permits. And if they didn't do it in a timely fashion, and I believe the language said 45 days, if they didn't, they would automatically get the permit, and any fees that they had to pay along the way would be reimbursed. It was almost like a punishment if we don't give it to them in a timely fashion. A very difficult challenge for the sheriff to have to take on that role or that responsibility and solely accept the responsibility if someone does something wrong or inappropriate out there in society.
Hackel also mentioned that he was glad that the governor decided to do it this way because it's such a sensitive issue, especially during this time, and he doesn't want to see something that's going to affect his schools and hospitals and things like that here in Macomb County made as a quick decision, made something through a lame duck session, so he's glad that it went the way it did today. We're live from Mount Clemens. Julie Bonovich, 7 Action News.
Julie, that being said, do you get the idea that he thinks it is necessary perhaps to change some of the current laws and he'd like to see that eventually, just not now?
I asked him about that, and he said there has to be a lot of work that needs to be done, so he definitely would want to see what they throw out there, and that it's something that would definitely have to be looked at and talked about, and he would want public hearings on it.
Yes, a lot of looking at, a lot of debate. I'm sure a lot of people would like that. Thank you so much, Julie, for the live report. Now, Detroit's Mayor Dave Bing is happy with the governor's decision. He shared his thoughts with reporters today.
I'm 100% behind that, and I think really, even before what happened in Connecticut, when you look at our city, and you look at the murder rate in our city, and the reason that so many people are getting killed, a lot of it is they're getting shot. And so anytime we can get guns out of criminals' hands, anytime that we can get guns off the street, we surely don't need them in schools. And so I'm pleased to see him not put that into law.